You already know, non-stop content. Another episode of The Great Debate. We got Adrian here, we got Band, you got myself, King Jones, we got JP Scorsese, JP Spielberg behind the camera, so he's rubbing his hands together. Listen, as usual, I got another great debate, yeah. I just want to float this question, yeah. At what point, and we're in the studio again, yeah. At what point do we have to take, people have to take accountability? So I'm gonna pose the question: environment versus responsibility, yeah. So I'm gonna say
nature versus nurture.
Nature versus nurture. At what point do we have to look at someone, whether they're in a gang and they get to a certain age and they still continue doing criminal activities, or they're from a poor neighborhood or poor community? Do we say, okay, it's down to their family? It's not their fault. Or a girl has 5 kids with like 4 baby dads.
Yeah.
Or at what point do we have to say, it's on them? Or do we have to continue to be like, it wasn't their fault, they were raised badly and this, that, whatever?
It's a tough one.
There's so many variables to it.
Okay, so what kind of variables?
First for maturity, how mature. Some people mature earlier or later. So, some people can be making stupid decisions at 25 because they're still not mature enough. I don't know, man. I don't think there's a certain age you can prescribe to everybody. Yeah. You can't say.
You must have to take it on a case by case basis.
Yeah, man.
So let me get going. Okay, so we have a guy. Yeah, we have a guy. He says, "Yo, I grew up in this neighborhood. Pops wasn't around. Mum had to work nights. The only love I really got, mum provided whatever. The only love I got was from the hood outside. You know what I mean? I've been involved in the gang since I was 12. I'm 25 now. I've been in and out of prison. Never held down a real job. But this is all I know. I'm good at doing this. I'm good at this. Not that good I don't get arrested. But you know what I'm saying? So but it's not my fault, innit? It's the community I came from. It's not my fault. I didn't do nothing wrong. What do you guys think?
I would say this: you have options. Okay. Yeah, man. To say you don't have options is a lie. You've chosen to do this. You could do something else. Yeah, I mean, you could work somewhere else, whatever. But you want that easy, not easy, but you want that quick, fast money. Yeah, I mean, maybe that status that comes with being a bad man.
Oh, but let me say this. Okay, but let me go to one step further. So, okay, I'm 25. Let's say I stop repping. Yeah, people that still after me are after me. What do I do then? They still want to get me.
Gotta move
out there. Essex, Hertfordshire.
Yeah, no. Listen, I understand that. It's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, but which is why I think we have to get to these kids early. Yeah, trying to train the 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. Sometimes it's hard because they're already in that life of crime. But I think when you're a teenager, or early teens, 13, 12, 14. I think that's the age to get these kids to try and
get to them in what? Who's getting to them? The teachers or what?
Teachers, guidance counselors, community activists.
But a lot of time ain't about though.
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously that's what I'm saying. We need more funding. We need more of these programs. We need more schools to be
proactive.
Places where we can actually reach these kids.
So you're saying environment. You're both saying environment because they're not getting got to, and the environment they're in is causing.
Nature is massive. Yeah, I'm you because for me, people obviously a lot of people talk about race and stuff like that, but for me the biggest impact on a group is culture. Yeah, I think that influences us a lot more than
I agree with that.
So and culture comes from the environment. So where you may have a certain area where you're like, wow, so many scientists seem to be coming out from there. So many, obviously scientists, people into maths and technology. Like the Asian community. I mean, they're heavens. They're heavens. That's what it's part of their culture. I mean, something they push the agenda. Yeah, you have African immigrants who tend to do a lot better than Caribbean counterparts or other black nationals in different places, because education is part of their culture. It's pushed. It's heavy. Yeah, and from when you're a kid, I want you to become a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is, a lot of the black people from the other culture, you're selling out. You're just doing what the white man wants you to do. You're just being an accountant, a lawyer, a banker, whatever. But the point is this: you're trying to give your child the best chance to succeed in society. It's not about fighting against the white man or overall race or anything like that.
So what you're trying to say is based on what the culture you're in bases this importance on. So if the culture you're in, okay, so I understand what you're saying. Whatever the culture you're in, importance is based on, that's what you'll do.
Yeah.
So if you come from a poor economic neighborhood where they say, okay, criminal activities or dealing or hanging out, that's what people will end up doing.
Even if you break it down to something as small as sports. Yeah. There's
sports culture.
Yeah, there's no reason why West Indies should be the only major black country playing sports. They're playing cricket.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like if they're one of the best, it shows that it's not something that black people can't
We got
do.
Kenya there, in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and Asians. I don't know. Maybe there's a bigger question to this. I don't know why we don't see more Asian footballers.
Yeah, that's true. That's a massive
Yeah,
question.
I mean, like they're into. I would say they support it heavy. I see loads of supporters, you know, of Asian backgrounds, Indian, Pakistani, whatever. But you don't see them represented in actual football or being played on the
Not
pitch.
even in the percentage that they represent.
Because I think a lot of them tend to go to cricket, or other sports.
Yeah, but I think if you're a naturally talented Asian footballer, I don't think you'll be discouraged from pursuing that though.
But how many?
I
Which
don't
ones
know.
do you know?
If you're naturally, so you tell me in your life you ever seen like good Asian ballers though?
No, I've seen good, but I'm just saying where they're in the Premiership. There has to be something why they're not making, because they're not as not talented. It's not they don't know how to kick football. So
Nobody's saying it's it's just racism. Yeah, but why is there a pathway that stops them from going from like good young kids to actual professionals?
Yeah.
Again, I think it's family. I think it's family though. And that's I think it's family.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. There's a culture thing. Yeah, I mean that actually stops them from. You have something to say, JP?
JP Scorsese behind the
Scorsese. No, my outlook for why we see in Asian cultures, the reason why they don't take up sports as much as we do is because they don't place any value on it. So if you're an Asian parent, and I've heard this from my Asian counterparts from work, what they'll say is my parents don't give two monkeys about whether you're going to become a sports person or not. Yeah. They don't respect it, and they don't see any value in it.
Go on.
Go.
By the way, I'm black. By the way, I can get away with it. But,
put your card back in your pocket or back in the deck, bro.
But no, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Asian cultures, the reason for why they're not as represented in sports as other cultures, because they don't respect it, and they don't see it as a respectable thing to do. So they'd rather I'm an Asian parent, they'd rather their child become a lawyer or a doctor than become a footballer or become a sportsman, because being a sportsman, you're not really bringing any tangible value to the world. Whereas if you're a doctor or lawyer or whatever, you can actually bring tangible value, and they see it, and it affords you social status in their culture. Whilst if you go to America, there's a study where they went to black schools, they went to black young local schools, and they asked most of the kids what they want to be, the boys, and most of them wanted to be footballers or American footballers. They went to white schools and they asked them, and what do they want to be? None of them want to be footballers or basketballers. They want to be lawyers, they want to be doctors, they want to become medical professionals. They want to do professional things because that's what their culture and their parents have input into them. So culture, like Ban said, is critical and it's a big part, and that's the reason why you see a lot of young white and Asian kids aspiring to do better things, because their parents and their culture inputs into us. And in our culture, what we teach our kids is you can be whatever you want. You can become a basketball, you can become a footballer. That's true, you can become a sports person, but if you look at it in terms of percentages and you study the facts, you'll see that most of those kids are not going to become American footballers, because in NBA, there's only about 300 or 400 NBA ballers. Yeah. There's about 20 million black kids who want to become NBA ballers. Let's be real, most of them are not going to become NBA ballers because only 300 of them. So only the best 300 of them will make it to the top. The rest of them are going to fall and fail in life. And we are as a culture are not properly preparing them for that. We're not telling them the truth that most of them will not make it, and that they should actually concentrate their energies towards things that would actually better improve their local environment first.
Well. Yeah, but fam, say like in America though, like how many NBA ballers are white? Or American footballers are white? Obviously, little kids they see someone like LeBron James, a black guy like them. Yeah. Obviously, they're gonna gravitate towards him, and they see someone on TV like him. Probably want to be like him because they probably got no father themselves. Yeah. So they see someone like him, I want to be like him. How many black scientists are there or doctors are there? When you go to GP, how many of your doctors are black?
I think NBA is slightly different because one, you have to be like 6'7" to qualify even.
American footballer, you don't have to. You can
but even football is different. Like you can be Asian kid and be 5'2", and as long as you can ball.
No, it's about American football.
No, but I'm saying the difference between the sports is that the NBA. One reason why there's less people there. There's even a select people that can. You have to be in that 6 foot something range for you to be an NBA player anyway. Yeah, I mean, of any real. Yeah, I'm sure the probably guys maybe like.
I agree with that as well.
Lower than 6
what I'd
foot.
also say as well, it's easier to make it in football. So the reason why football, we're talking about football right now, there should be much more representation of like we're talking about whatever, because football, it's not in England. You can make it as a football player, the Championship, League One, League Two, France, Belgium. You can make a professional career, make thousands of pounds a week. So why are they underrepresented? Like you should see it.
And JP, you also have to think about all the guys that made it in football. Yeah, imagine their families tell them, "What are you doing this football thing for? Are you crazy?"
No, but-
Now that football thing bankrolls the whole family. The next generation
No,
of
but
generation.
you're looking at you're looking at a microscope. You're not looking at the big picture. You're not looking at the
No,
macro
no,
picture.
I'm saying that it's not as easy as just saying, "Oh, you guys should go and do banking, you're going to do whatever," because it's a fine line of ruining that person's dream. And if that person really had the ability to become a footballer, we just don't know at 14, 13 whether this kid is going to be Raheem Sterling or not. We just don't know.
Okay, but Banj,
You know, so it's hard to tell the kid. I think about football is dedication at that age. People say, okay, but study at the same time. You can't. It's very hard. You have to really focus on the football. Like, in fact, I think it's in England where up until they're 16, they can't train for more than an hour a day. Yeah. In other countries, you can train up to 3-4 hours. Yeah, which is why they say that their kids tend to develop faster and their technique is better at a younger age, and then the kids here are like playing catch up because
The funny thing is,
we don't get to play more than an hour a day. I think they just recently changed the law. So what I'm saying is this: is that I may be a doctor, yeah, I may be a doctor and still want my kid to be a footballer, still want my kid to be a basketballer, even though it's not like, okay, the kid is coming from poor disenfranchised background. I may still look at him and be, you know what, I may be like Lewis Hamilton's dad and like, yeah, there are no black, guess what, there are no black Formula 1 drivers, but I'm gonna go with you every day.
do you think
I'm gonna go with you every day and train you and be there and sacrifice my whole life just to give you your dream and for you to whatever.
But would you
Because
also
I think
say
that, you know, it'll
so
come
when we're
true.
talking about environment, do you also base how important is parenting?
But I agree with what JP said. JP is saying that basically we should rate the doctors as much as we rate the football.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, celebrate.
I rate them as much as
yeah,
we do
we
the
should celebrate
basketball.
them.
Yeah.
Would you? How important is parenting in this situation? So if someone lives in a terrible neighborhood with all the sort of crime going on,
Yeah.
but they have like 2 parents there, great parents,
Yeah.
what difference does that make?
I
would
think
you
it's
say?
massive difference.
Parents dictate your life.
Mm.
They control everything, and they teach you morals, they teach you behaviors, teach you everything. So and they're the people you listen to the most. But obviously, you're not with them for the majority of the day.
Yeah.
Are you? You're in school, you're with your friends, you're with the people. So you know you're with your parents. What, like from, I don't know, when they come up from work. So from 6 until whenever you go to sleep.
Yeah.
So although they are important, I think that environment is, of course, it's going to be the most contributing factor to how you behave. I think, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, listen, I think you know, obviously when it comes to parenting, we're all when we first have our kids, none of us are experts. Yeah, we're all learning on the job. We're gonna make mistakes. We don't know what's going on. Also, it depends on your kid. Some kids are easy and simple to whatever, and other kids are a terror. Yeah, I mean, so it's hard to judge that parent on the job they're doing based on, you know, certain factors that are beyond their control. But what I would say is this: no, if everything is done right, nobody should have a bigger impact in your kid's life than you. And I'm not even talking about just speaking them, even them just watching you, even if you don't spend time with them, you don't speak to them, whatever, just them watching you alone, yeah, it's having a massive impact on that kid. Yeah, I mean, the way you treat your wife, the way she treats you, you know, your drinking habits, your smoking habits, the way you work, your work ethic, all that's having a massive effect on your kid, even without knowing. Even if the kid hates you, they're still picking up shit from just from watching you.
But then how do you
know?
explain like kids that are born in a beautiful household but still act like shit?
Yeah, but if they feel like the dad doesn't really care, doesn't live up to his morals, doesn't live up to his situation or whatever, and also you as a parent have to recognize that, like, there would have been loads of signs before the kid gets to that stage, and if you just ignore it as a parent and be like, oh, this kid doesn't care about discipline or authority or whatever, and you allow him to get away with everything, yeah, you've played your part in it. But I'm saying, like, there's so many ways, because you guys remember, like, a kid at 10 years old, 9 years old, 8 years old, yeah, they're not looking to be rebellious, and there's only certain things they can do. You have all the control there.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to say, you know what, I'm gonna work on this kid the way I worked on my wife when I was trying to get her. Yeah?
So what you're saying
I worked
is,
on my job.
what you're saying
I'm gonna
is,
dedicate my shit to, like, okay, every Sunday it's me and you.
so what, scared straight program? Yeah, drive them past
No,
the home.
no,
Drive them past the care home and say, listen, no TV, there's no PlayStation.
Listen, not even scared straight. You'll be shocked how when a kid gets like 8, 10 years old, you can really talk to them like an adult. You know, I mean, talk to them like I'm not saying that they understand everything, yeah, but they understand a lot more than you and I think, and they pick up stuff a lot quicker.
Sponges, kids.
Yeah,
Sponges.
yeah. I mean, like, you can really pass on your morals, your beliefs, and all this sort of thing, or whatever. And at that age, you can still be your kid's best friend.
Mhm.
Obviously, when he becomes a teenager, he's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm not trying to hang with this old man or whatever. But at that age, 8, 10 years old, there's no kid that doesn't
You're
love
not raving
spending
with your
time.
children.
Doesn't love
You're not
spending
raving
time
with
with
your
his dad.
children.
Loves spending time with his mom.
You're not raving with your children, eh?
I might, yeah, I'm saying.
Oh, right.
But still, I'm on the club, so it's different.
Yeah.
But, you know,
You need to be at home, right?
I'm a bouncer, you get me?
Like, yeah.
But yeah, at that age, trust me, you love hanging out with your parents. You just want to go to Disney World. You want to fucking chill. You want to whatever. Like you're not thinking, this guy's old. I don't even want to spend time with him.
But again, fam, it depends on culture as well. Because like I never hanged out with my parents. I'm an African, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you see,
depends on Africa. I'm African, you know. I mean, we're African household. Don't hang out with your parents, fam.
Yeah, and I think
You're not friends with your parents.
but that's what I'm saying. And I think that's a failing of the African
community that came over, the ones that came over.
Yeah, I mean, like I recently saw an interview with Wale, yeah, and he said he never saw his parents affectionate to each other.
I saw that one.
Swear.
He said in 20, 30 years, he never said.
They never kissed. What do you mean?
Like, if you think that doesn't affect the kid
Yeah.
and their intimacy thing, that doesn't give them intimacy issues going forward, you're nuts. You know what I'm saying? Bro, even me, growing up in Nigeria and stuff, yeah? I think up until I was like 20, whatever, I never saw a couple kiss outside.
What?
Never saw a couple kiss outside. People don't kiss outside. They just don't. Like, kiss on lips. Like, you see them in the club, like, grinding, dancing, whatever, doing all sorts, but they will never kiss. I just don't understand it. They're saying things that stick within the culture where it just doesn't make sense.
You see that too much over here, bro.
Yeah.
The training shit.
You see on the chain, on the muscle, grab it.
Them Polish nigga. Fucking hell, fam. You know.
Hey, shout out to Polish.
And the funny thing is, the funny thing is that it's so deep rooted as well, you know, because it's something that's passed down from generation to generation. There's people just repeating, you know, like your parents would have seen their parents, and they pass it down. You know what I mean? Like if his parent had hugged him a lot more, was affectionate with him a lot more.
So is it our responsibility to change that then?
Yeah, I think so.
So
because we have to realize that it's a different environment.
So what you're saying is that once you get to a certain age, so during the kid, whatever, but once you get to a certain age, it has to be some sort of choice at that point where you're like, yeah, it may be hard to do. This is what I see from what you guys have both said. Yeah, it may be hard to change, but it's your choice to not change. It's your choice to be like, I want to go out there and still continue doing this. Yeah, people might be after you, or yeah, you might have lots of kids or whatever, but it's your choice to be like, I'm just going to live this same life. I'm not going to try at least better it.
The thing is, society is in an awkward position because we're judging these people, we're locking them up, we're sending them to jail. Some cases, the same states in America where they're having them executed. So we're doing judge, jury, executioner, and it's tough. It's tough when if it's tough because what we have to do is to be able to justify us saying that we have to almost remove all the moral ambiguity and say this person is a bad person, they did a bad act, that's why they should go to jail for 20 years. But obviously it's a lot more complex than that, it's a lot more detailed than that, it's a lot more nuanced than that. But for us as a society to function, we have to be able to make quick decisions on the go. We can't be here debating, you know, all sorts of things. So it's just easier. But I think it's a lot from just us laymen or psychological perspective. It's a lot more. Yeah, there's PTSD. There's the way you were brought up. There's whether you had.
I think there's a lot. Listen, I'll be real. I watched that.
Schools you went to. Yeah, I mean, all that affects.
I watched
all that affects.
I watched this. I watched something on YouTube, and I think there's many people out here that have PTSD, bro. I don't think it's a war or army thing. I think there's people walking that have seen certain stuff. Like you said, like you could have PTSD from being held in a household where two parents should be divorced. They hate each other. They may whatever, and it just affects you. Every day you have to deal with the shouting, you know, and stuff like that. You know, all it is just traumatic stress disorder.
I saw something Mick said. He said in the war sometimes you get to leave the war zone. He said in the streets you don't get to leave the war zone. You see somebody get shot on your street, you can't move.
Of course.
Every day you're gonna walk by and you're gonna remember that's where that guy got shot. That's where that guy got stabbed. You have to deal with it.
No, but think about not even that. Imagine you see someone get shot or stabbed or whatever, and then like you're not able. Someone say keep it to yourself. You're not able to tell no one. You just have to internalize it. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like internalize it.
Mostly,
There's certain stuff that happens that you'll just start dreaming about and whatever, and it's just gonna affect you in the long term. You just might have an outburst, or like even in with a lot of guys, it's just like we hold stuff in. We can't like talk about real stuff like that because like it's not manly. That stuff that kills you, bro.
Yeah,
in the long term, obviously, sometimes we call women emotional, but sometimes it's better to get your emotions out than to keep them in. You know what I'm saying? And end up shooting up a post office.
The point is that we need to encourage everybody to be how they want to be different.
Of course,
The guy.
But that's difficult though in this dissemination. Some people are scared to be themselves. So.
I think it's easier to be yourself now than it is 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
It is now. It is.
But the funny thing is that people who are scared to be themselves, will not allow you to be yourself.
Of course,
because it scares them.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's like a cycle. It's like, okay, I don't want to be made to feel whatever, so I'm not gonna let you be that way, and then I'm still stuck here. So I'm gonna keep this perspective of men.
So.
And, keep it in that.
Obviously,
balance.
JP Scorsese saying, "Yo, wrap it up." You know what I'm saying? You already know non-stop content. So all the guys here, all the members.
I thought we bought it that, by the way. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
We bought it, Like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Non-stop content. Bro, like, listen, we're gonna keep having content. We're gonna have some artists perform or something. We're gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know what I mean.
Good show, Aiden.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Good show, Tim
Davey.
Jones.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? It's Davey. Did you get a goal in this? You ready? No, wait. And we out. The Great Debate.